I was in college and had aspirations of going into broadcasting, let alone, going into football as well. And, if I can go out there and speak to them and, give somebody some advice that'll help them in their career, it goes a long way. So it was a great opportunity for me, man, and I was thankful I was able to do it.
What was some of the advice that you gave?
Man, a lot of advice, man. Just, stay focused, keep working hard, practice at your craft, be creative, innovative, and continue to build your brand because, as we know, this business is a lot about competition, so you got to go out there and make people stay tuned into your show.
It's all about networking, right?
Yeah, networking and having that versatility, don't be a one-trick pony that I like to say. And, so a lot of them, they're on the right track because they're in the right place to do it. I think, the ICB is a great place that, they can come here, actually have their own show, learn the boards, learn, things hands-on, and it'll help them, go further in their careers.
True. As far as building your brand and things of that sort, you already have kind of a brand built behind you, not only your football career, like you said, your broadcasting
right.
a little bit, your broadcasting career as well, and you also have the Jason McKie Foundation, which is a foundation for families of wounded and lost soldiers in battle. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Jason McKie Foundation started in 2008. And, I'm a military brat, had the opportunity to, travel the world at a young age because my father was in the Air Force, just retired after 24 years of service. And, my whole thing was giving back to those guys who have been, deployed over in Afghanistan and Iraq and those different places like that. Putting our lives on the line, for us, and we're here in a radio station. Well, yeah, there's somebody out there, special forces guys, somebody out there, putting their lives on the line for our safety. And I think a lot of people forget about that. It's an important sacrifice that they're making. And the Jason McKie Foundation, what we do is we hold different events and we raise funds and we actually give those funds back to those guys, those families that are in need of it. Because, like I said before, as an athlete, you play a game, you play a football game, you're going to walk off the field. You may be bumped and bruised, but you're going to walk off the field. These guys that are deployed and are serving our country, they're playing the game of life. They may not, come back to the United States how they left or if they come back at all. And I think that's a, important thing when you look at it. For us as Americans not to realize the sacrifice that they're making, I think is absurd. So, my whole thing is to raise awareness and contribute to those families financially. And we've been able to do a lot, so it's been a good thing as well.
Yeah, fantastic. It's basically they're giving us the opportunity to, go about our daily lives here. But with this foundation, it's basically giving them the opportunity to get a stable lifestyle.
Exactly.
So that's a great foundation there. And I understand you're doing the dinner at golf benefit for the Jason McKie Foundation, 3rd year in a row.
Yeah, it is. It's been huge. The dinner gala and golf benefit's been big. I've had an opportunity to have a lot of my former teammates and current players now, a lot of different sports celebrities from all sports, baseball, football, hockey, from the entire Chicago area have come out and supported our foundation. And we've been able to auction off a lot of sports memorabilia. That's how we raise, a lot of our funds, auction off different items that have been donated to us from different athletes. And it's been good, man. We had a great year as far as donations. We were able to furnish a Marine who actually served 2 terms in Afghanistan and received a Purple Heart. We was able to furnish his entire house with furniture. During Christmas time, I became McKie Claus, in which I played Santa Claus and was able to donate.
I saw a photo of that.
They're able to donate toys to military families and military children at Christmas parties. So it's been good, man. But with all that being said, it wouldn't be possible without our sponsors and them donating their time and money. And and the JCP Foundation wouldn't exist without these guys, these servicemen and women out there, putting their lives on the line, for our country. So anything that we can do and we can give back to those guys, there's nothing. We can't do enough to say thank you and to show our appreciation for what they do.
Of course.
Excellent. So, we're going to have to ask you a football question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, man. Let's go.
All right. For those of you that may not know, you were part of my Bears of the 20s, and your 20s as well, as I understand.
Yeah.
So you were part of the Dick Johns last year, the Cordell Stewart experience.
Yeah, man.
Chris Chandler, Chad Hutchinson.
Unfortunately, I was a part of all that hoopla. The quarterback.
You were also part of the Super Bowl team?
Yeah. So I was a part of the dark years, I guess you could say, and I was a part of some bright years. Like you said, we had a whole quarterback carousel. I even think Happy Gilmore played quarterback for us one game. We went through so many guys. I can't even recall some of those names you mentioned. I forgot they even played quarterback for us.
I never forgot.
I mean, all great guys. It just didn't pan out for them. And I had the opportunity to be a part of our Super Bowl team. Although we didn't win, it was a good opportunity to go in there and playing in the Super Bowl. So Chicago sports, man, it's nothing like it, man. And to be able to play for a franchise that's got so much history and to wear the same uniform that the great Walter Payton wore was an honor for me, and it was a dream come true, man. So I'm so thankful of that.
What about because you played for Lovie Smith? How do you think he's going to do in Tampa?
I think he's going to do great. Lovie's a great coach. I mean, he had some great times here in Chicago, and I think he's putting in place a great team, in Tampa. I think he inherited a lot of great players. I know they got rid of Darrell Revis, but they brought in some other pieces there. He brought a lot of the same coaches that we had here in Chicago down there with him in Tampa. And I think Lovie will get that that organization back on track. I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were far off. I don't think they were far off to where they was in the past when we've seen them win the Super Bowls with Warren Sapp and Derrick Brooks. But they got a lot of players in place, and Lovie will bring the best out of those players. So I think if you're a Tampa Bay fan, the sun will remain bright down there in Florida.
Yeah, and one more new thing in the NFL, actually, a lot of the new rule changes. So, for example, the extending the goalpost 5 yards upwards, recovery of loose ball is reviewable on replays. So, do you think this is a good factor as far as getting the right call, making sure that the players are safe in another sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about player safety, but at the same time, some of the rules they have in place, I think it can enhance injuries. A lot of rules that came into play last year, and I wasn't in favor of. Especially the ball carrier not being able to lower his shoulder. I think you've seen a lot more knee injuries because of that rule. The rules that got in place now, like you said, the extension of the goalpost, I think that was needed because a lot of times, in the game, a critical field goal, you see the ball kind of go over the goalpost, and you're like, hey, the refs are sitting there like, hey, what should we do? Okay, let's paper, rock, scissors, and we'll determine whether it went in. That's a huge play in the game. So I think them, extending the goalpost was a good rule. The fumble recovery rule is great. But the rule I don't like is the no dunking over the goalpost. I think that's absurd. I mean, how does that – I mean, a player's not going to get hurt dunking over the goalpost. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's a part of the game. It's a part of that player's celebration. And to take that away from the game, I think is hindering the game because a lot of fans like to see different players' celebrations. And, I never dunked over the goalpost, but, I think they shouldn't have took that out.
Did you have a creative celebration?
Now, I played fullback, man, so when we didn't get the ball that much. We accounted for a lot of touchdowns. We were responsible for helping people get in the end zone. But, when we got in, it was like I would just go nuts because it's like, yeah, I scored. Finally, give me the ball. I scored. You'd be excited because your opportunity was limited playing fullback.
Not like I just made a great block sort of.
Oh, yeah, we would do that. I would have, my running backs, we would chest bump, and they would always, let me spike the ball because, they would score off a block that I threw. So it was some good times, man. I would just be happy for anybody that scored on our team because, that put us closer to winning the game.
Now, how is your body after this? After all of this NFL contact and everything, how's your body after all this sports injuries and everything that people will go through in NFL? Yeah,
good days and bad. Some days I feel great. Some days I feel bad. Knees still ache, shoulders hurt, fingers are still broken. But and all in all, it's a great game, man. I wouldn't change it for the world, and I continue to work out daily now. That way, I don't have the arthritis and stuff like that set in that you see a lot of players, suffer through.
At age 34, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's rough. It's a rough game out there, man. It's equivalent to getting into 100 car wrecks in one day. So I mean, if you picture that, you can feel kind of what the player is feeling. You can see how their body is banged up. But like I said, I loved every bit of it. I wouldn't change it for the world, man. And if I could do it all over again, I would do it.
Sure.
So back to your foundation. It's also called. But it's part math, like math, science, and health sort of thing, right?
Well, different scholarships. So we do. We also give out scholarships to different military children. So we have there's a big event in Washington D.C. and it's called the Military Child of the Year Award. And for each branch of service, they pick an individual, and they give them scholarship money towards whatever school they're going to. And we also help. That's not our particular fund. We help donate to that fund to enhance the scholarship monies that they receive.
Because you were also not just a athletic standout at in high school and at Temple, but you were also academically.
Yeah, like I said, being in a military family, grew up in a military way. My dad was real strict. My parents would let me play sports unless I had the grades to do so. And nowadays, you can't even play sports if you don't have the grades. You got to be a student first and an athlete second. And, that's the mindset that I had, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I took it serious because, a lot of things I learned in college and in high school I use, every day today. And it's really enhanced my, my transition after playing football, and furthermore, it helped my career in broadcasting.
So before we let you go, do you have any last advice you'd like to give to all the students at ICB?
Yeah, keep working. Keep working, man. You're in the right place to do it. The ICB has all the programs in place. They have all the equipment. I mean, we're sitting in a nice studio. I mean, where else can you go and get hands-on training, if you want to be a radio broadcaster, a TV host, or whatever you want to be? I feel like the ICB gives you that opportunity to be successful. And I think the only way you can't be successful in this business is if you don't work at it. If you don't work hard and continue to build your brand, you ain't going to be successful. So, like I told the kids across the street, keep working hard, continue to be creative, innovative, and continue to build your brand. And, best of luck. Hopefully I'll be working with some of you guys sometime.